So the first video was about the monk that felt really enlightened after being 2 years in the cave, and then was going to live in society again, but within no time he was back into the cave because he couldn't feel okay, and he felt really threatened and endangered being in the world. And yeah, in this second video there is that I have illustrated how I felt like this monk myself, and I think many people do so, that in the beginning when you are going with your working on yourself, it can be a bit hard to get used to a positive state, or to stay or reconnect fast to a positive state. So bit by bit, when you practice, then you will get there probably, or you could get there. But it's not from one day to another. So for sure the monk that went to the cave, if he would keep working on the things he was facing in daily life, he would also be able to get into the real life again. But so, yeah, this series is about being under attack and keep your peace while you are under attack. But importantly, yeah, it's not just for people who are really physically under attack or are in a war, but it is about people who are feeling threatened in a situation. And I would like that you get this, to share with you the idea that there's many times when we feel threatened, there is not a real threatening situation. It's about how we feel, and yeah, our reaction when we feel threatened is of course that we start to protect ourselves. So we could run away into a cave, or we could start to attack the another person as a defense mechanism. Yeah, we can do different things, and so to be able to react from a place of peace in a situation where you would normally feel under attack, or that you really are under attack, the only way how we can react from a place of peace is really to first be in our peace. And so the first thing we have to we will now, let's say, work on is to be in peace. And before we can really get there, I would like to illustrate with examples that you can see that really you can get a very different reaction when you are in a state of peace. First little one is that I remember there was a really, you could call it a life-threatening situation, if you like, when I was on a station in Poland with a friend, and we were smoking, in that time still smoking, then outside of the train station. And there were like posts with chains in between. And there was like 20 chains, and then after 2 or 3 meters there was a chain, and then a post, and then a chain, and then a post. And they were all empty. And we were sitting on the first 2 chains at the building, and then all of a sudden a very drunk guy came, and a Polish guy, and I spoke and I speak some Polish, so I could understand what he was talking about. And it was obviously a very drunk guy, very big, much stronger than I was and than I am. And he was telling that he wanted to sit on the chain where I was sitting. So he was really like trying to push us out, not physically, but saying like, I want to go and sit there, fuck you, get lost. And well, I reacted there in a way that I was defending myself. I thought I had the right to be sitting there because we were just sitting there, and there was plenty of other places, so I felt it was ridiculous that he asked me to move, whereas he could take another place. Yeah, at least that's how I saw it. Of course, I didn't know the history of this guy. I didn't know that he was maybe sitting there every day, or that he had to be with his back against the wall maybe, or I had no idea. I just knew that I was sitting there and he wanted me to leave. And I thought that wasn't really necessary. So then he started to really scream more and complain more, and he took out a gun out of his pocket, and he just pointed the gun on my head, in front of my head, like half a meter in front of me. And he said, now you have to go, I want to sit there. And I remember that my reaction was like, but innocently, but you know, I'm sitting here, there's plenty of place, fuck you, you can go and sit somewhere else, you know, there's no... And internally I thought, this guy, he would be really stupid to shoot me in front of this train station where there's everybody. That would be so stupid. I must admit, I didn't consider that he might by accident pull the trigger or something. I didn't think about that. I just thought, come on, he's not going to shoot me. And because I thought that, I was staying in my, more or less my peace, and told him that he could fuck himself. So, and his reaction was then he was leaving, and he didn't continue. So I was lucky there. Of course, when he left, then all of a sudden I was shaking, because somehow I did feel life threatens in a life-threatening situation. Thinking of that now, if I would have said to this guy, okay, you can sit here, you know, that's fine. If I would have thought of this guy, he wants to sit there, that's his issue. He wants to sit there and I'm sitting there, so I can just move. If I would have put my own interest to the side, and if I would have put the interest that I thought I have the right, the same as he has, or even more, because I was there already, if I wouldn't insist on my right, there wouldn't even have been the tension. Yeah, so, but of course I was rather peaceful, and then I could stand from my peace and just tell him, even though he was threatening me, I could say, okay, fuck off. But of course I would have been in more peace, it would have been a more peaceful situation if I would have gone up and say, okay, of course you can sit there, why not? He wouldn't even have pulled out the gun, probably. So this is an example situation of maybe a life-threatening situation, but where you can see if you react in a different way, you would get a different reaction. So this is illustrative, and that was a real life-threatening situation. But of course, this guy wasn't threatening me with my life. He just wanted to sit there.